And welcome back to Under Center with Kirk Cousins. And Kirk, we have two very special guests, guys who make your life a lot easier on the defensive side of the ball. So I'll let you do the introductions and kind of take us behind the curtain a little bit about the two guys who mean a lot to this Vikings football team.
Yeah, we're here with two of the best football players in our team, two of the best in the league, Anthony Barr and Barr Kendricks, outstanding linebackers. Thanks so much for being on today, guys, taking the time.
Oh, yeah, no doubt, Kirk.
Thanks for having us.
After the game this past Sunday, I needed you guys in here. I do a lot of standing on the sidelines and pacing when the defense is on the field, and knowing those two are out there makes me feel a lot more comfortable. You know, we go against each other in practice all offseason, and I'll just start by complimenting both of you because when we played, I was in the Redskins and we played you guys in 2016. Eric, you got hurt early in the game.
I was going to ask you if you remember that.
Yes.
We both ran into each
you
other,
ran into each other, so
yeah,
I was probably going to throw an interception in the,
I thought I was
in the
gonna
red
score.
zone.
Me too.
And they both go for the ball. I threw it directly between both of them. Both of them probably should have intercepted it. But because they both did, they ran into each other, and Barr won that battle. And Eric was out the rest of the game. And so it ended up being one of the better plays I made because Eric wasn't
Knocked
in the
him out
rest
of the game.
game. Right.
Strategic.
And then I came to learn in 2017 how good Eric Kendricks really is since I didn't have to play against him the first time. He was all over the field. And then whenever we played the Vikings, going back to 2014, we always said, send the protection to number 55 because you do not want your running back blocking number 55 in protection. And so when I got here, I've kind of had the same approach. And the coaches have said, well, in practice, let's not scout our defense. Let's just go play. And I get pretty frustrated because these guys feast on that. But it's been fun going against them, and I just want to compliment you two guys, football players, because it's a real treat to go against you and then watch you play on Sundays. So let's take it back a little bit. You guys played together at UCLA. You're both from California, different parts of the state. Talk about, starting with you, Anthony, your decision to go to UCLA. I understand you were kind of a running back coming in.
Right.
Just kind of that whole process of picking UCLA from all the other schools you could have gone to.
Yeah, it came down to UCLA, Notre Dame. I had a lot of Notre Dame ties with my father, my uncle. A lot of other family members had gone through there. And I took a visit out there in February, I think. And it was, February in Indiana.
That's a smart time
to take
a visit.
snowing. Yeah, it
Gather
was
the
snowing,
information.
and it was just ugly, and it was like completely different than anything I had, experienced before.
And Beverly Hills didn't look like that in February.
No, exactly, and I'm like 17, 18, like, damn, I don't know if this is the move for me. It's going to be February. Football's going to be over. I'm going to be stranded out here. So I decided to go to UCLA. It's ended up being an easier, more comfortable decision, I think, is really what it came down to. And I could stay close to my family,
Right.
Big family guy. So
Right.
that all played a part in it. And then Coach Newhouse told me I could play running back, and that's where kind of my heart was. And Brian Kelly was like, "Oh, you're gonna be a wide receiver," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna be here. I'm gonna go play running
crazy.
back."
So how did you even end up at linebacker?
Well, we had a coaching change going into my junior year, and we had just come off a terrible season. I think was that the year we went to the bowl game, and we're like the worst team to ever go to like a bowl game.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was.
We were like 5 and like
But
8
they
or something.
needed a team
They
to
needed
go,
a team.
so they
Like
picked
half
a
the team was
5-win
like,
team.
we don't want to do this. The other half was like, oh, come on, it'll be fun. And then we ended up getting smoked by, I think, Illinois. We ended up sending one of their defensive ends going first round because he had like 8
He had a
sacks
good
on
bowl
something.
game,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Equal to the league.
Getting paid.
But anyway, we had a coaching change, and we had Coach Moore came in, brought a new staff, and I was just kind of lost in terms of football world. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, if I still wanted to play, if I wanted to transfer.
Wow.
And so I kind of went to him, and he was telling us we're going to have a 3-4 defense. You could play outside, you could play the edge. And I'm like, I don't really know what that means, but sure, I'll give it a try. And
Wow.
then kind of just evolved from there. I had a lot of help from guys like Eric and other older guys, and then my coach, Jeff Olbrich, at the time was a really good linebacker coach, and he got me right.
So do you make the NFL if you choose to play running back or receiver?
No, hell no.
You
no
think you're a better
chance.
fit at linebacker?
Yeah, no, I would have been out the league by now. 2 years at running back, my size, I would have,
Wow.
it would have been a wrap.
It was crazy to see too, because I feel like when he came at linebacker, like obviously he was very like raw and new to the position, but I feel like he had no bad habits. So it was like,
Gotcha.
when he started picking up things, he started picking them up, and it
The
was
right
like, that
way.
was that was his thing, like to pick up. So it was pretty.
And
cool.
you guys came in together, and you
Yeah.
came in as a linebacker, Eric. You're from Fresno.
Yep.
Got recruited. Were you offered by everybody in the Pac-12 and picked UCLA, or was it kind of different?
No, it was. I had an offer from Fresno State, Washington State. I had looks, Stanford was looking at
Okay.
me, and some other schools, Cal and things like that. But not too much,
Pretty straightforward
yeah.
decision to be a Bruin?
My dad went to UCLA.
Okay.
My brother
Your
was
brother
at
was
Cal.
there.
I didn't
Oh,
really
your
want to go to
brother's at Cal,
Cal.
yeah.
I didn't really want to go to Cal. Didn't really want to go to Stanford, and it was just kind of like, I feel like I should go to UCLA. UCLA and Texas were like my two dream schools growing up. So really, that's all I needed was that offer, and I was good.
Wow. Well, you come in, so you're playing linebacker, but you redshirt. He plays as a freshman, and then he joins the linebacker room, and you guys basically have been playing together ever since. Pretty cool deal.
Yeah, it's wild. You know, I don't think you can look across the league. There's not many guys that have had that experience. You know, to play so long together and do it at a high level. You know, especially, and it's just cool because we continue to challenge each other, and I think we kind of feed off of one another. If someone has success and we want to kind of one up him, but not in a way where it's like envy. It's more like we're always proud of one another. And we always want to see one another do well, but we always want to push ourselves to be better.
Yeah, you guys get back to Cali much in the off season?
Oh yeah, the whole time.
Yeah.
It's possible.
This past year, we actually worked out at UCLA, so it was pretty cool to go back there.
Okay.
And, they have a brand new facility that we like to think that we built because we
did. We didn't get to use it, now. But you go back there and it's like this place, man. This place is crazy.
I think it was with the Redskins. The years run together, but when we played the Rams one year, we walked through at UCLA.
Okay.
And got to see the new facility right there in the center of campus. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that thing is. Like
it's amazing.
It's like TCO. I mean,
they
have all the bells and whistles, and for college kids, they're so spoiled, and they always still complain.
I say, if you look at that campus, how would you not want to go there? If you're
not only that, I mean, you're right next in Westwood. You're right next to Beverly Hills. You're not far
different
from the
than
ocean.
USC. Yeah, much different.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. It's just got to win some football games,
The only catch with the Bruins is their stadium is the Rose Bowl. Which is 45 minutes away, and they got to bus students there, and so it makes for a tough dynamic. Other than that, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I can't blame you for getting back to California as much as possible. Now let's switch gears, talk about the game yesterday. I have a lot of respect for Carson Wentz as a quarterback because of his ability to scramble, how strong of an arm he has. The play's never over till it's over. What were your thoughts, game planning going into the game, what you thought you could take away, what you were concerned about, and then kind of your thoughts coming away from the game, how you felt you executed? Eric, I'll start with you.
I feel like you kind of really never know what to expect. I feel like every time we played them in the past, they've always they brought new elements to the game. Different wrinkles that they try to catch you off guard. So we know we got to kind of hold on for a second and just kind of get our bearings. And I feel like we started fast. We had that 3 and out right off the bat. They tried to run the ball 3 times in a row, and I feel like that was we just set the tone right there. You guys came and scored, and it was. I mean, you guys scored before that, I believe. And we stopped them. And
the fast start was huge.
Yeah, it was big time.
Yeah. What'd you think, AB?
Yeah, I mean, they're a dynamic offense. You look around, they have playmakers on all levels, right? The tight ends are dynamic. He's the best player, Ertz, on offense. But then on the outside, they got Alshon who's go up and get it. And Nelson going to take the top off the defense. And then the running back, he's a great receiving threat. 26 and 24, obviously, he's a downhill guy. So, coming in was like stop the run. We got to wrap up 24, stop his feet. And then we got to shut down Ertz and make him throw the ball elsewhere. I think we did that for the most part. Slowing down the run and making them kind of one-dimensional, especially when you guys score touchdowns, right? And we get a little bit of a cushion. Team starting to have to throw the ball a little bit, and with our D line, it's like let them go rush, and we'll cover on the back end, and that's the formula really for success for us, I believe. So kind of all just came together. Yeah. And I think it's all coming together at the right time. So it's important to.
It was crazy that we were only like we were 4 points apart at one point because I feel like
never felt like
I feel like on the sideline we were just kind of like we just had a thing that we just felt like we had to get it done. We were all out there just you guys going on offense, you guys had a mission. We were going on defense, we had a mission, and it was good to see that we weren't even like really paying attention to the score. It was kind of like we were playing against ourselves.
I think in years past we would have panicked in that situation, right? We had a 21-point lead down to 4, and now you start getting a little tight, right? But it didn't feel that way. It felt like we was in control the whole game, and they had some big plays, and that's going to happen in this league,
Right.
But if we limit those, we're going to be in.
Well, usually I know with our defense, if we can get about 30 points on the board, we're going to be just fine. And some games a lot less. I remember we were out at
usually we're going to hold it down.
We were going out at halftime of a game last year, and Barr says to me as we're walking out, he said, "You score 1 touchdown, we win this game."
Yeah.
And that's true. In some of the games we have, and so. I take great comfort in that. But to talk about, so Mackenzie Alexander gets an interception, and we run down to celebrate in the end zone, which I'm all for. As you know, I'm pretty good with corny celebrations. But I'm watching on the board later when they do a replay in slow motion, and EK jumps into a handstand, which is outstanding. Talk about that. Was that spur of the moment? Were you like, hey, man, I'm doing a handstand if anything happens today?
Honestly, I had different celebrations that I had in my head, and I didn't do any of them. Like, they didn't
you got a few in your back pocket?
They didn't cross my mind at all. So, like, that was completely spur of the moment. I don't know why I did it.
perfect.
I just did it.
I couldn't even concentrate on my celebration. I was looking at you like,
It was
damn,
perfect.
what is he doing over there? That's crazy.
So speaking of McKenzie's interception, how many almost interceptions have you two had this year, man? I feel like this year especially, it's
just
been
dropped another
you
one
guys have been around the
yesterday.
ball a lot.
You know,
You're due. You're due.
yeah. You know,
They're gonna come though. We're
that's
in
what I'm saying.
position though. We're in position.
We're not trying to force anything. You know, if it happens, it happens. Obviously, those are plays that we can make, and we believe that, you know,
Yeah,
we got to
I
make
gotta-
them.
I
Like,
gotta catch
just-
it.
What I love is the one that AB had yesterday on the in cut. You know, many times the quarterback, what I'll do is I'll see AB there as the hook defender, and so I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to bait him to take this running back out of the backfield or this whatever route sitting down in zone, and then I'm going to give my shoulders there. I'm going to fire that in cut right off his ear the other way. And to you guys' credit, what I was kind of alluding to earlier in the podcast was you guys don't give me that. Younger linebackers do, other linebackers do, but you guys are pretty aware that he's going to do that, and so I'm going to kind of bait the quarterback to do that, and then I saw you do that basically. Is you're like, I'm going to kind of tease him to think he has that in cut, and then you dove for it, and I thought that's Anthony Barr being Anthony Barr right there.
I mean, it's kind of one of the spread routes. You know, Ertz
Yes.
at 2, he's going to try and bend behind you and, you know,
Yes.
hit the seam. So it was just. But then later in the game, later in the drive, I think, you know, he kind of messed with me where he ran a dig and out, you know, kind of pivoted on me when Carson started rolling out to the left, and then he banged, you know, his route. I think it was like 4th and 14. So that like ticked me off. But it's going to happen. You know, they're good players.
You guys were talking about the fact that the lead was cut to 24-20, and Eric, I think you made the key defensive play. It was a 3rd and 2. The Eagles had the ball on your 21-yard line, and Wentz to a short pass to Jeffrey, and you just blew that play up and forced them to settle for a field goal. That was huge because the Vikings then took the ball and went right down the field and scored. So if you could remember what you saw about that play and what the call was.
But we had seen that formation.
we had seen
play
it. We
earlier
had saw
in
it
the-
once
in the-
earlier in the
in
game, and they kind of, I don't know if they dressed it up a little differently, or they might have
It was
dressed
very
the same.
similar. Him at wide at
Yeah.
one and motion down to the
It
cluster.
was cluster, wide cluster, and
And
it
it
was
was-
distinctive because it was a little bit wider. You know, sometimes clusters are in the hat, so everyone can break out in their routes, and they have a little bit of space. But this one was a little bit wide, and
That's how a lot of teams try to attack us on 3rd down. They
Yeah.
see us in, you know, they see us in split and you know the double A gap look, and their answer is to throw the wide receiver screen. Just it's a long way for us to travel to get there, you know, and that's kind of the idea. But we weren't in that formation, but they just, I guess,
That was
called
a
that
huge
and I
play.
got
play,
a tip.
man.
I got a tip from Harry. Shout out to Harry. You know, we always give alerts like that. You know, and sometimes they're vital like that. So when he gave me that tip, I just seen the formation and I was like, yeah, he's right. Like this is exactly what it is.
Anthony, I was down on the field right to do my little halftime bit I do with Ben Lieber, and while we were on the field getting ready for the 2-minute warning, there was a running play, I think, and you just blew up a offensive lineman, and Lieber looked at me and went, "Man, that guy's strong." You're talking about you.
Yeah.
I mean, you just blew him up. I mean, is that something you take a lot of pride into, your physical strength along with your durability, of course, but more importantly, that you don't see that very often.
Yeah, I have a hard time remembering that play, honestly.
That's okay. It was there.
They all kind of just mush into one, you know,
hitting
at a
off.
certain point. I haven't
But
watched the
hitting
tape.
just talking about more
See, I got
your
my
physical
thing.
strength.
But
and
yeah,
all like that.
I mean, I don't think I'm any stronger than the average NFL player. You know, it's just
Really?
kind of using your
Leverage.
body in a certain way, and I think just attacking and, you know, good things happen when you're aggressive. You know, so I don't think I'm, you know, I wouldn't say I'm the big bad strong dude, but you know, I can hold my own.
What I love about these guys is you can hear when they talk how much of a thinking man's game it is. I mean, they understand route combinations, they understand percentages, formation tells, where they need to be in spacing, and then playing in Coach Zimmer's defense now for 4, 5, 6 years together, there's an ability to know what should be done, unspoken, you know, in the crowd noise, they can make sure everybody's lined up, get to the right spots. There's a continuity there that's fun to watch that not every NFL team can claim. And then you also, in telling, you know, this guy's a former running back, this guy played 3 high school sports, was a shortstop. They're not just big, strong, fast, they're athletes. And when I go against Eric in practice, he plays the middle linebacker position like a shortstop. You know, he has a feel, he has a sense of the ball. He can, you know, when I say I can sneak that over his head, he's not going to tip it. He takes one more step and tips it. And so it's a frustrating thing to go against, but it's fun. And at one point, you know, our quarterback coach, Clint Kubiak, in about May or June, came over to me, maybe in a meeting or after practice, and he said, "Is this Eric Kendricks guy as good as he's been these first few weeks I've been here?" And I said, "Oh yeah, he's the real deal. Wait till you see." And I say he's kind of underrated. People don't realize how much ground he covers, how fast he is. So he's a favorite player of mine. No disrespect to AB, but EK is probably my favorite player on the defense.
That's nice, man. That made me feel good.
You got a chance to blitz a little bit too.
Man, I got dialed up yesterday a little bit.
Yeah,
you know, I won one, lost a few. You know, but hey, it was a good call, man. When me and Mackenzie got the sack, it was a good call, and it was a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of blitzes and sacks, talk about what you're doing this month of October for every sack the Vikings
Man,
get.
Sacktober, every sack the Vikings get cumulative. We donate to Sheridan Story, which is they provide meals for children all over Minneapolis. These children just can sign up, no requirements. If they need the food, they can sign up, and it shows up in their locker, and then they take the food home on the weekend. So I think it's an awesome thing and easy for us to contribute. Without really doing much, but using our platform.
Well, I can contribute by getting us a lead, so that they can rush
So
the
we can
passer.
pin our ears back,
Coach Zimmer can contribute to the kids by calling some blitzes. So we're all in this together, trying to help the kids eat.
It's really cool that a couple of California guys have really got immersed in this Twin Cities community. Both of you have, with both kind of initiatives you've done. So how have you taken to the Twin City area? I mean, and been accepted and use your own profile to further your own cause. Anthony, I know you've done Raising the Bar, which is a really important issue for you, an important initiative for you.
So let's talk about Raise the Bar quick. It's something started by my mother and I. She was a single parent, raised me as a single mom, my brother and I. So our whole thing is trying to educate these single moms and allowing them to pursue their education. And provide some type of child care while they're out doing that. Just because, I had a great support system when I was growing up with my grandparents, and my mom could go out and do her thing, and I'd be at the house, and I'd be taken care of. But there's so many people that don't have that luxury. They don't have the grandparents, they don't have the extended family to kind of watch the kids. So we try to bridge that gap, and it's been pretty cool so far. In terms of Twin Cities, it's been an awesome experience. I had the option to go elsewhere this offseason.
You sure have.
This is home, man, and everyone's been. Other than the drivers are so slow, I can't. It's crazy.
That's outstanding.
Coming back from LA, man, it's just
it.
like, damn, the 55 mile per hour
lanes.
speed limit killing me.
He is from LA.
Construction.
We did a walkthrough at his high school when we played the Rams, and it is right there. I mean, you can see the LA skyline from the high school. So he is from LA.
Well, they have that new law now. If you're not going fast enough in the left lane, you're supposed to move over to the right lane,
but
Anthony.
still,
They don't do
Still
it.
drives me crazy, man.
Yeah, I get it.
Other than that, man, I like the Twin Cities. Man.
Bar, I'm gonna keep the apologies going this week and apologize for my Midwestern friends. I'm sorry on behalf of my Midwestern friends.
Y'all need to speed it up out there, man.
Well, thanks so much, guys. We'll cut to a break and then come back and talk a little more about your background.
And welcome back to Under Center with Kirk Cousins, Mark Rosen, along with the Vikings quarterback, along with Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks. A very entertaining, informative interview. And
No doubt.
Yeah, absolutely, Kirk. So let's take it, run with it again.
Yeah, so you guys this offseason traveled together. Obviously, you guys spent a lot of time together. You go way back. But traveled to, Rome, Japan, Amsterdam. Talk about that trip. What inspired it? How long it was? What kind of stuff you guys did?
I feel like one of my buddies was like, he was his first time ever leaving the country, and I think it was something
For work related, wasn't
yeah, it was work related,
Yeah.
and he was going to Amsterdam. So he was like, "Hey, I'm booking a ticket. Like, this is my first time out of the country. If anybody wants to join me, join me." Like, and we were just kind of like, the hardest part about traveling anywhere is literally booking the ticket. Like, that's just the hardest part. And he had everything set up, where we were gonna stay and stuff like that. So we went there, and then from there we went to Rome. And and it was like
so different, like the dynamics
Wow.
to play. Like Amsterdam is just boom, boom, hustle and bustle, so many people and craziness, madness, and then you go to Rome, it's just like laid back and chill.
Yeah, the Italians are a little
yeah,
different.
it was-
they wake up
Just like
in-
their cars.
Exactly. They wake up at noon. They don't eat till 10 p.m. It's just
Right.
like, man, this
Culture.
is the life right here.
The food is so
Yeah.
good,
Man,
though.
what?
Oh,
I mean-
never eat pasta again after
So
going
did you
to
have a
Italy.
favorite city, favorite place? They all kind of
Rome
good
was
in their
hard
own
to beat.
way?
Like, I gotta go back. Like, honestly,
Rome
like,
was awesome. I wasn't there long enough. I think we
Okay.
were there like a week or 5 days.
I feel the
but
same way.
The experience.
Wow.
There's so much more.
Did you see the history in terms of the Coliseum?
We took
and-
a Coliseum. We took a tour one day, so we saw everything: the Trevi Fountain, the Spanish.
Wow.
one thing I recommend, like when we first went there, we first of all we ran into these amazing people who like everything was closed and they literally cooked us a meal like themselves.
Wow.
We
And
landed at like midnight, and it was in Rome at midnight. Everything shut down, but we were trying to find some food, and it was just like this little mom and pop like type shop. They just
pretty cool.
opened up, and they just welcomed us
And they-
open arms. It was super cool.
They drew us a map to the where we should, because they told us we said, hey, we recommend you guys go at night and see all the Coliseum and the steps and everything like that.
Wow.
So we went out that night and we just walked around and it was like all these things you see in the history books, but it was at night, and it's
cool,
all lit
yeah.
up very
And
well.
nobody was there,
and
so
it
it was
was
just us.
I mean, that was
It
the
was
best. That was like the best intro.
But it was so different because Amsterdam, my first experience in Amsterdam, we get there, we hop off the, we took an Uber from the airport till we're staying at Airbnb, and we hop out the Airbnb, and I'm kind of just like looking around. I don't really know where, like trying to get my bearings right, and I have my bag, sit them down, and there's a sidewalk. Like imagine this is the car, this is where I get out, and then this is in the whole other part of the sidewalk, and there's a woman walking like right behind me, and I feel like a presence. I kind of look back, and she just looks at me, gives me an angry face. And I'm like, "What's up? Like, can I help you?" And she's like, "Go back to your own country." I'm like, "What? Damn,
Really?
Yeah,
That was
right
your
off the
first-
my first experience with
And
a
we were just
person.
like,
I'm like, "Oh, this is how
whoa."
this gonna go, man." Damn, like we chose the wrong place to come to. But other than that, like
Yeah,
it was all
great.
good
It was-
after that.
Yeah, it was great. But
And where else did you go? Amsterdam, Rome.
And then we went to Japan.
Wow.
That's
Yeah,
quite
so-
a culture shock.
How many total? 2 weeks?
No, that was 2 different trips.
Yeah.
Okay,
Two different
yeah,
So
yeah,
we
yeah.
went
Broke it
Amsterdam,
up.
Rome, came
Broke it
home, and then we went back to, and like the beginning of April, I think we went to Tokyo.
Will you continue next off season with more travel? Is it
Yeah.
worth
Oh, yeah.
to keep doing it?
Absolutely, that's the plan.
Great.
It shows that we're not all that different, man. You know, we're all similar. We just want to be loved and loved.
That's
and,
awesome.
You know,
Do you have a certain destination in mind, or are you just going to kind of play it by ear?
I usually let him and his girl handle it because they're
Yeah.
the planners. I just show up
There
by
you
my
go.
ticket,
That
you know what I'm
makes it
saying? I
easy.
just tag along. Yeah, I'm like their little child.
What you need to do when you travel, because when I went to the UK with the NFL to promote, the game, they're trying to grow stuff, so they invited me over there to do some promotional stuff. Met a guy who said, "I know the CEO of Aston Martin, and so if you want to get in a cab, you can go out an hour and a half outside the city to their headquarters, their world headquarters, and they'll tour you around. You can sit in a DB11, see the factory, see their SUV they're coming out with in a couple of years, like behind the curtain.
That's dope.
And so if you get to Italy or some of those places again, what you should do is go check out. I know you're a gearhead. You should go check out some of those cars.
Definitely. That's a great idea.
Yeah, when you go to Italy, I mean, go see Ferrari's
I think
headquarters.
I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that like
Yeah.
100%. I know you said.
Yeah.
Every time we go off out of the country, we try to see like a international football game.
There you go.
Soccer game.
Yeah,
but, you
yeah.
know, so, we've seen a couple, and
It was
it's been
in
awesome.
Amsterdam. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, when I was out there as well, I went to an Arsenal game. It's pretty fun to see. But talk about your love for cars, Eric. Talk about the story about your grandpa with the Dodge Viper and how you've kind of refurbished that, and just in general your love for test driving them and different things like that.
Yeah, I feel like it started out with Hot Wheels. At a super,
Where it
super
always
young age.
begins.
I had them all over my room, stepping on them and everything like that. And I don't know. I've always loved cars. Like every time they drove by the street, I always run out to the street.
There's something about it. My son is 2 years old, and he sees a truck or a bus, and he goes crazy.
Truck,
it's
bus,
like
train,
wired inside of
Something
him.
in
I
our
didn't
DNA.
tell him to be that
It
way.
just is.
It's
no,
great,
you don't
man.
have to. No.
And then I feel like there's not much things that make me feel that way, honestly. And it's hard. It's a weird, some people don't get it, but
a passion.
yeah, exactly. It's not up to them. But
So
yeah.
the Viper is something it's an ongoing project.
It's a
You basically
1995
inherited it,
yeah,
right?
Grandpa. It's my grandpa's Viper, and I'm just gonna take care of it forever. I'm just gonna hold on to it and just I keep it pretty original, and just fix things here and there, and just cruise it,
Death on Wheels.
cruise it.
Safe to say it's not in Minneapolis.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
It's here. You're not going to drive it in the
He's probably not
wintertime.
taking it out in the
No.
snow,
I'm
but
saying,
on
no.
a nice
You're-
day.
I'm gonna just keep getting some more things fixed up on it, and just keep taking care of it a little bit.
Yeah, it's a labor of love, I'm sure. And then, Barr, I got to talk about this. I'm walking down the hallway today to come in here to do this podcast, and I hear the whistling, and I said, it's got to be Barr. I turned around, sure enough, it is. You're really good at whistling, and you're pretty consistent at it. I mean, I'll be washing my hands in the bathroom and hearing the shower.
Yeah, my grandma. So I grew up with my grandparents. Like I said, and my grandmother, she is a big Catholic, and church songs is just she would whistle the church songs when she cleaning, when she cooking, whenever. And so I kind of just picked up on it, and I can't help it. I don't even try to do it.
Yeah,
It
no,
just
you
comes-
don't. I think it just comes out of you.
I knew he
does.
was coming down the hallway because I heard him whistle. I heard whistle.
It's like
Well,
a
just,
blessing and a curse.
Big Bad Barr, the 200 and whatever 50-pound linebacker who's running over people for safeties, and then he's a whistler. It's just, it doesn't fit, but it does at the same time.
It's relaxing.
Can we get the Vikings fight song or the UCLA fight song?
I got something else for you. I'm gonna do I just watched Aladdin last night.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
The new one or
perfect.
the old one?
The new one, Will Smith.
Okay, yeah,
it
Will
was
Smith.
okay. It was good. I enjoyed it. Jasmine is, what I'm saying.
Real.
All right. Don't look at me. It makes me nervous.
Disney needs to hire that guy. He could be in the next Zippity Doo
He has like a little flutter to it too.
He had it.
Like plays
He
with
had
it a little
that.
bit.
I haven't heard that since I heard Zippity Doo Dah.
You take your
Zippity-doo.
quests
See, that's
all the
what I
time?
watch too. Zippity-doo all the time, bro. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That you were
On
raised on.
VHS, yeah.
That was your Hot Wheels.
Absolutely.
That was it.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Sweet.
So, getting back to football, we got the Lions this week. They play the Packers tonight. We were recording this on Monday, so we don't know the outcome yet. But talk about, you guys going against the Lions a lot, far more than I have. I've played them 2 or 3 times. But talk about going against their offense, Matthew Stafford, some of the personnel they have, and just obviously it's early in the week, but your impressions of playing there at Ford Field and that opponent.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly haven't watched too much of them this year yet. But from everything I'm reading and hearing, they're much improved as a football team all around. Obviously Matt Stafford's going to gunsling that ball.
Sling it.
That's what he does.
Per usual.
One of my favorite quarterbacks to play against, just because he's a competitor and he throws the rock and he takes a beating sometimes. And every time we played him, we hit him pretty good. And I think there's been multiple years we've had 8, 9, 10 sacks against him. So he knows what kind of day it's going to be, and he stands in there and still plays hard. I know the running back Kerryon Johnson. I think he's having a solid year, and then Galloway I think is their number one. So and they have a new tight end they got, I think, from Iowa. The first rounder, right? And he's been playing pretty well as far as I'm concerned. So another team that has multi-dimensional, like all 3 levels where they can beat you.
Come after you.
So
yeah.
it's going to be important for us, obviously, to slow down the run as always, and then put our ears back and try to hit the quarterback.
Now, both of you guys had the green dot on your helmet, correct?
He had, we can only have one, but
You can only have one. It's on the field.
When I haven't played, he picks it up. Yeah.
So talk about, is it Coach Zimmer in your head?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Talk about that conversation, that one-way conversation for 3 hours. What that can be like.
I mean, I think we've had different experiences. I started it when I was a rookie.
In 14, they gave you the green dot.
14. Well, Chad got hurt one game, so I had to wear it for the Saints game, I think, and that was my second game ever. And I was trying to communicate the defense to these grown men that didn't care about me at all, right? They didn't know me yet, right? But it made me better. But now it's like Coach Zim, he gets fired up when they call plays, especially on third downs when it's loud, and he kind of tries to get the perfect call sometimes, and it just comes out like we're super wrong. But I know what he's trying to say.
Yeah, you piece it together.
After a certain amount of time, listen to it, like I get the gist of it. I think it's more difficult for when you just start, like when Eric has had past experiences, and it's just like, he doesn't really know. I'll let you speak on it, but I know it could be it's confusing because he's trying to say something that's not exactly what it should be.
I mean, he's literally calling defense, so I feel like you just hear him think sometimes. You know what I mean? So
He's thinking out loud.
Yeah. So, like he said, you got to be able to piece that together. You got to be able to and that's
and everyone's looking at you for the call. Like, what's the call? I'm like, bro, I don't got it yet. Give me a second.
When we're playing well, it's loud, it's rocking. It's hard, and that's the first issue is like I'm just like trying to hear him. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to hear the call, and then it's like you hear like. If you hear spots of it, then you have to like kind of piece it together because it's so loud. And I feel like when I first get the thing, it's like it takes me a little bit to adjust to it. But then I usually like.
So do you ever go rogue? Do you ever say like?
There's times when
let's go double A, let's go 3J.
Hurrying up, and
that's
it's like we got to get on the ball.
And
it's like, okay, well, here's our call. That's what we're gonna ride with, and we'll live and die.
That's another thing that you got to know when to do that. You got to know when to maybe get the call last minute, or you got to know when to be like, no, this is what we got to just get in. We got to just get lined up.
See, I never think about that from the offensive perspective. We control the tempo a little bit more. We can't go until we snap the ball. Obviously, the play headset cuts out at 15 seconds on the play clock, so there's somewhat of a sense of urgency, and if I don't get it by 15 seconds, I got to call my own play. But I never thought about it as a linebacker. You're at the mercy of the offense, and so you have to be somewhat reactionary, which is interesting.
I don't think people even knew that at 15 seconds it cuts out.
I think yours lasts a little longer.
That's why I yelled at I yelled at Kevin yesterday at the end of the game. We were in 4 minutes trying to run the clock out, and they were talking forever about how to run the ball against these loaded boxes. Essentially, it was cover zero every play. And they were trying to think of the best run possible. Well, they talked for so long and deliberated with each other that I never got to play. So I just ended up running the line of scrimmage and calling the best play I could think of. And we ended up calling timeout so we didn't get a delayed game. And then I screamed at him, "Give me the play before 15 seconds." And then Kevin, in his calm demeanor, as always, comes over and says, "It's okay. Calm down. We're good.
We got this.
We're just talking."
Usually when he gets the call, I'm just like facing the offense. So it's
we have a good dynamic. Like I'll get the call and he'll set the defense.
So
and that's special. Like the ability for these guys to go back to their freshman year of college, playing together, two great players who have been out there every down. Pretty special to have that kind of relationship where they can go play off each other.
And Harry's giving the personnels, and
Yep.
it's just everybody's
It's a good
Which,
Well, you got
which
a better
again,
group. You do.
huge help that
Yeah.
he says, I'm going to take a little bit less, come back to the Vikings, and keep this thing going because continuity is a huge part of success in this league. And what they've had on defense now for several years is very rare, and it's been pretty special to be a part of. And hopefully we can keep it together for years to come because, the production shows, what it's meant.
We want to thank Anthony Barr and Eric Kendricks for stopping by.
Great
and,
job, guys. Thanks so
for
much.
Thanks for having
whistling.
us.
Thanks for all that. And, and
yourself
thanks for
out
the
there.
handstand. And I don't know, who knows what's coming up next week. We'll be back with more with Under Center with Kirk Cousins right after this.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you.